What's up, guys? Alan from the Grayson Academy. So, as promised, more videos on the lower parts segment. So we're doing parts in stages, right? So, first thing we're going to tackle is the front takedown pin, arguably the most difficult part of this procedure. Very tedious, very aggravating. So, what you need, again, lower front takedown pin, detent and spring, tool, a punch, or an Allen key, something that fits this roughly the same diameter, right? So, the portion where this detent goes, there's a small opening on the side of the takedown pin windows. That is where your detent spring is inserted. I will take my punch and insert it through here. Now, the detent spring itself will go on top of that spring and get pushed down into the hole. And transfer the punch for the pin, like so. All right, so now that detent pin is in there, and we'll capture the front takedown pin. So, front takedown pin accomplished. All right, next thing we're going to move on to in the lower build is the trigger. A lot of folks get confused and get their brain scrambled by the trigger. So, depends on if you have a traditional trigger setup like so, or if you have a drop-in trigger. Drop-in triggers are quite simple with a couple set screws. You just drop the whole thing in, boom, bam. So, with this, what you'll need, your triggers, your hammer, all right, the trigger and the hammer with the springs and your hammer pin, trigger pin, and sear. Right, I already have the sear spring staged inside the trigger, right? The sear will go in here with the pin going through both. So, what we're going to do, right? First, the trigger. We're going to drop the trigger in, just like that. Right? We're going to drop the sear in over the spring, right? The little back notch right here is going to go right on top of the spring and fall into place. Now we take your retaining pin, push the trigger into place, push that retaining pin all the way through, like so. Trigger is now in place. All right, so now that we have the trigger in place, we get the hammer, right? Ensure that the closed end of the spring is on the rear side of the hammer, not on the front, right? Or else it won't have any tension. So we drop the feet of the spring in behind the front pin of that other one. Right? We're going to push that into place so that hole is lined up. Begun. Get that set, push it all the way through. Now you might have to wiggle the hammer, right, to make sure the holes are lined up on the opposite side. And there we go. Hammer pin set, trigger pin set, and it's fully functional. If you want to check it, you can. Just make sure the hammer doesn't go forward, hit the frame. It could crack the frame or crack the trigger, so just put your hand here. Right, go ahead and pull the trigger. It is indeed working. So, now your trigger is in place with the help of these two pins, and you have a fully functioning trigger. All right, so there we have it, trigger install. Right, so now we have the front takedown pin and the trigger installed into this lower, right? Very easy, two retaining pins, the hammer pin and the trigger pin, right? So on and so forth, fully functioning trigger, tested and working. All right, so that's what we got. Now, next time, on the next video, we'll start by installing the mag catch, mag release, right? And the bolt catch, bolt release levers, right? We'll do that. Very simple, easy parts to put in, right? And we'll continue moving our way rearward, right? So stay tuned. We're going to do more of this and get this into a fully built, CT compliant other lower. Stay tuned. All right, so that's it. All right? So as always, train safe, train often. I'll see you on the range.